Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our satellite digital media studios here in San Francisco, here in our beautiful Candlestick Man Cave. Professor B, and welcome to another edition of 49ers Live tonight on Niners Radio 49. We'll be with you for a bit. We'll give you the latest on the San Francisco 49ers as they're enjoying their bye week. They're coming off a 30-23 win over the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, as the Niners were able, and it was a must-win game for the 49ers as they now going into the bye week. They're now 4-4 going into the bye week as the 49ers improved to 4-4 with their win over the Dallas Cowboys, and now the Niners have now beaten the Cowboys now four straight times, including the playoffs a little over 2.5 years ago in 2022, January of 2022. So the Niners are are now slowly now getting some people back healthy, and we're going to give you the latest before we start. Well, we're going to start it off with the sad news. What happened with the 49ers today? Safety Travis Ward loses his 1-year-old daughter to a terrible disease. That's just such a heartbreaker. What happened? We're going to read to that in just a moment. Then the latest news on the Niners with Christian McCaffrey. He most likely should be ready to go when the Niners get back for their bye week in Week 10 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That will be a little more than 11 days from now. And then after that, and then after that, Nash, and same thing as Dre Greenlaw. But first, we're gonna go to the first the sad news. What happened to Dre Greenlaw, or correction, Travis Ward, the safety. His daughter Armani Joy, and this is the piece from NBC Sports Bay Area. Read you that article from NBC Sports Bay Area. We're gonna have a good, and then later we'll check out other 49ers news and our Niners Radio Flashback. We continue this montage as we continue to celebrate the anniversaries of Super Bowl glory for the 49ers. Yes, the 40th, 35th, and 30th anniversary of the Niners. 30, 40, 30, 35, and 40 years anniversaries of the 49ers Super Bowl glory. Yesterday, last night, I should say, we took a look back of the 49ers win over the LA Rams back in Week 8. The Niners beating the Rams, and they held Eric Dickerson, the same Eric Dickerson who would pass O.J. Simpson for the most rushing yards in a single season. They go over 2,000 plus yards rushing in a single season. In this game alone, Eric Davis had an off day, was held to only 38 yards on the ground, and the Niners, with that win, improved their record to 8-1 as the season, as they now hit the halfway mark or start the second half of the season. And the Niners, with that win over the Rams, now have a commanding 3-game lead over the Rams for first place in the NFC West back in 1984. So they already would have swept their first round of divisional games. Played their first round of divisional games, have already swept the first half of their divisional games, and the Niners with a 3-game lead over the rest of the pack, starting to really have full 3-game lead and start to take control and distance themselves, putting some distance like boat racing the rest of that division in '84. Today we're going to take a look back. Tonight we should say we take a look back to week number 8. The 49ers taking on the New York Jets at the Meadowlands, and we're going to take a look at that segment later on tonight, and then it's going to be a good one tonight. But we're going to first start it off with 49ers quarterback Travis Ward losing his daughter, and that's such a horrible thing that has happened to him. And there's tragic news. This is from NBC's Bay Area. 49ers community, San Francisco Travis Ward in his Instagram post that his 1 year old daughter Amani Joy passed away on Monday morning. And this is from his Instagram page. We are heartbroken. Our beautiful baby girl Amani Joy passed away on the Monday morning. She was a blessing that we could ask for, and her joyful spirit made us smile from ear to ear. She taught us to have patience, trust, positive outlook of life. She showed the true strength of bravery. She overcame adversity at a young age and was very happy to lighten up the entire room with her smile. Having the privilege of being her parents and seeing the world through the eyes has changed with better. She will ever forever be Daddy's best friend, Mommy's little girl. We will miss you forever, Amani Joy. That's what we talk about the finality, as we're on the last couple of days of October, as we're getting ready to flip the calendar to November, puts things in and more. We are heartbroken that our baby girl Joy passed on Monday morning. Ward wrote in the post, and having privilege to be her parents, seeing the world through the eyes changed us. Ward's daughter was born prematurely with Down syndrome, had experienced heart issues since birth, had open heart surgery back in April 11th, 2023. The 49ers released a statement after Ward's post. The 49ers family is devastated. Sudden passing of Travis Ward's 1 year old daughter, Amani Joy. In a statement, Amani was truly embodied pure happiness, brought joy to all of us, and her sweat, demure, contagious laugh. We will continue to grieve through Travis Monique, sending her love and support unimaginable time. So, our thoughts on behalf of Niners Radio 49, the rest of us, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Ward family and the organization at this time. That brings things in perspective as we're now are in late October, as we, we, as we getting ready to close out October, only 2 full days left. As we get ready to flip the calendar to November 1st, it puts things in perspective, and as we're getting close as the holiday season begins in about a month from now, I think a little less than a month. It really put things in perspective. You don't know when your time's going to come. I know in perspective. 4 years ago around this time, 4 years ago, I lost my grandmother just right during the period when COVID shut down everything, and of course, around that same time when America was in trouble with the battles of George Floyd, the riot things down in Minneapolis, and I know a lot of friends who have lost a parent or a loved one, and it's not a good time. A good friend of mine's a good friend of mine who I'm not going to mention her name mentioned end up lost her father to cancer back in 2019. Just probably 6 or 7 months later in 2020, got a chance to meet her the when I was out and about for the first time, and it puts things in perspective because I already had lost my grandmother, and she was 87. Her dad was, I believe, in his late 60s, and I'm not going to mention the name, like to keep it, but puts things in perspective. Lost him around November of 2019, 5 years ago, and November of 2019, exactly right before the holidays, and I'm not going to mention the names. I don't want to do that, but it was such a tough time, and they talk about the finality of this whole thing when it's you lose a parent, lose a kid, or anything. That's such an awful time because they go through the grieving, they go through the it's such a hard time. So it. And this is for everybody who lost loved ones. And football is only a game, but when something like this happens, you have to just, it becomes totally secondary. And, it's such a tragedy thing that happened to lose a child at a year old. This is something that he's going to have to, try to bounce back from, but it's going to take some time of grieving, especially with just getting just to hit the holiday season. And we lose loved ones, and that's just a tough thing. Tough thing for loss of this year. So our prayers, thoughts, and prayers go to the family, and respect the time of their privacy, and that is that. So we continue on Niners Radio 49. If you're watching live right now, youtube.com/ at Niners Radio 49. Our goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers. And please click the like and subscribe button. And we're continuing to get a lot of people to come on. And oh, by the way, for Sunday night, we were because of the Sunday due to the Sunday night game telecast on NBC, and because of we did not have our post game live because of the conflict of my schedule at the hotel, because at the Hilton Hotel, because of I had to get back to the city, catch my train at a certain time, so we weren't able to have the full post game show in its entirety. That's why we were able to do the recap last night. And we'll be doing this every night, 49ers Live tonight. Anytime, of course, the World Series is going on, they will be extended tomorrow with the Yankees were winners tonight, so they'll have a Game 5 tomorrow night. We will come on immediately after the World Series on Niners Radio 49. We'd like to do that, 49ers tonight, after if a World Series or NFL's Monday or Thursday night telecast due to because of conflict of time. So we want to do that as well when the times is free. So check us out, youtube.com/ at Niners Radio 49. Please hit the like or subscribe button. Try to get 1,000 subscribers, and that is our mission, to get that dubious milestone. So we are going to move on, and like they say, life goes on. Life goes on. Life goes on. It just, that's a sad time for the Ward family, losing a loved one. We think about what happened 5 years ago when C.J. Beathard, the backup quarterback for the 49ers, when his brother was murdered horribly in I think in Nashville, Tennessee, or Jed York losing his losing his brother 6 years ago. So it's an emotional time. It's a very emotional time. And we have to we have to move forward. So let's continue on Niners Radio 49. We're going to look at some other news. We're going down the 49ers. Isaac Guerando was named the Pepsi Zero Sugar Rookie of the Week for Week 8. As Guerando, and he was a nomination for Week 8. Guerando, one of the 6 rookies nominated for this award. He ended up at 6 carries, 85-yard touchdown. In a touchdown, he caught 3 balls for 17 yards. Guerando is one of the 3 fourth-round selections to the 49ers in the 2024 NFL Draft, and happened to be all 8 San Francisco contests this season. His biggest workload came against Dallas. The rookie running back played 43 offensive snaps, would account for 63% of the team's offensive snaps in Week 8. To vote for Isaac Guerando's for this week, Pepsi Zero Sugar Week, click at 49ers.com. So we are going to continue on Niners Radio 49, 49ers Live, Professor B. Just a reminder, the news on Christian McCaffrey look like he's going to be a good to go for on when the Niners come back from coming when they come back from the bye week. He should be ready to go. Niners will take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from their after their bye coming up on September or on November 10th, and it will be a 10 a.m. kickoff. You can catch the game in the action on KTVU Fox 2. And let's let's continue on Niners Radio 49 with our podcast. Time is we will now at this time we will take a look back from 1989, the San Francisco 49ers. Short by the Bay Area earthquake of October. We'll take a look back. We'll get you to that our segment in just a few moments. Niners taking on the recap for the 1989 regular season we put together. So we'll be doing that in a few moments. We'll do that in a few moments and get ready to cue this up in a few. So that's some other the Niners news. We're going to check in to see what else was out there. We'll also check out, also a reminder, 49ers fans, get 10% cash back at the 49er team store presented by Rockton. Rockton's the official proud partner of the San Francisco 49ers. So we want to take a look at the news stories from that. Holding off the Cowboys 34-20 as the Niners go to 4-4 at 500. Dallas goes to 4-4. But the Niners are starting to get some reinforcements back. Christian McCaffrey and Dre Greenlaw should be ready to go when they come off the bye week. And then also congratulations for George Kittle was named the FedEx Air Ground Player of the Week. He is now third all time. And we just take just a he's now third all time on the Niners receivers list for catches. And so McCaffrey should be ready back. Niners are at 500. And then Kill was named for the FedEx Ground Player for Week 8. 6 catches for 128 yards on National Tight Ends Day. And the All-Pro veteran will also hit a couple of career milestones. Got his career 500 career receptions and moving third place all-time on the franchise's all-time receiving yards list, 6,777 yards. Kittle is still now behind Hall of Famer Jerry Rice and Terrell Owens, the cherry on the top of Kittle's standout performance that went down on National Tight Ends Day, a league-wide holiday he helped create. Also, the Niners, they've improved the 21-19-1 all-time against the Cowboys, including 12-10 at home, including postseason. The Niners have won each of the 4 previous matchups against Dallas. The 49ers registered 223 yards of the night, making it the second game of the season with 220 or more rushing yards. So, we'll move on to that. We'll move on to that, and then now we're going to take a look of week the 49ers and the New York Jets from week number 8 of the 1989 season. This game, the Niners taking on the New York Jets at the New Jersey Meadowlands. And coming into this game, as we coming into this 1989 game, the 49ers come in. They're coming in. Hold on, just scroll up the score. Niners come into that game with a 6-1 record, while the Jets coming in with a 1-6 record. And these were two teams were headed in opposite ends of the spectrum. So we'll take a look at this highlight from 1989 Niners taking on the New York Jets at the Meadowlands. As we continue our Niners Radio Flashback, the 35th anniversary, 35 years ago, 49ers end up winning back-to-back Super Bowls in the 1989 regular season. So as we go into from the 1989 season, we are going to going in just a kind of a recap what happened the previous week. The 49ers in week 7 defeated the New England Patriots 37-20. And this game, of course, was played at Stanford Stadium because of the due to the sustained some damage during the Loma Prieta earthquake just prior to, of course, doing Game 3 of the 1989 World Series, known as the Battle of the Bay between the Giants and the A's. The A's, of course, 35 years ago yesterday, completed their 4-game series sweep over the Giants in the Bay Bridge Series 4-zip. So the Niners won this game 37-20. Joe Montana, or I say Jeff Fuller, suffered a neck injury that ended his career. Joe Montana suffered a knee injury. He would miss some time, he suffered a sprained knee. So now we go into week 8. Niners playing the New York Jets at the Meadowlands, and this was the late game at 1 o'clock Pacific. This was a late afternoon game at the Meadowlands. Niners taking on a struggling New York Jets team. And the game, and we are going to show you a highlight of that coming up. We're ready to show you a highlight clip that we got from that, and then we'll give you recapture of the score. So we got an Eddie the Honor Addict, who is who joined in to Niners Radio 49. Thank you very much, Eddie. And as we continue to get better, we want to create better content and just spreading the word about Niners Radio 49. We're not just all around the globe. So we're going to show you right now this highlight from 1989. You're going to like this. We're going to cue it up. This is from week number 8, the Niners. And then after this segment, we will
Francisco had played only one game in its home park. while lifting San Francisco to its 7th win in 7 tries away from Candlestick Park. After a seemingly endless odyssey for San Francisco's Road Warriors,
from week number 8, the 49ers, winning that game 21-10 over the New York Jets at the Meadowlands. Of course, Joe Montana sat out that game with that knee injury. So Steve Young started that game, and so they so we're getting more people to come on our platform. Here we go. So we continue on Niners Radio 49. So the Niners with that victory now, as they continue, they continue now with their continue their after losing that game to the Rams back in week number 5. They end up winning weeks 5, 6. Have now won 3 in a row, and the Niners improved their record to 7-1 and the Jets dropped to 1-7. So we will now go to our next segment. We will go to week number. Thank you very much, Eddie. You're very sweet. So we will go to week number and we will now go to week number 8. Week 8 of the NFL scoreboard from 1989, our flashback segment. And this is something these exercises we like to do. And we are going to do that right now. We're just going to scroll this up. And so week 8, that be from the football database. Be week 8 of the NFL scoreboard. It will be some of the finals. It was the New Orleans Saints. They have a 20-13 win over the Atlanta Falcons as Bobby Hebert threw for 272 yards, threw a touchdown and 1 interception. Dalton Hillier led the way for the Saints, 25 carries, 93 yards and a touchdown. And he also caught 7 passes for 97 yards. So Hilliard will end up getting for the day, as Hilliard ended up getting 190 total all-purpose yards, and he ended up when you add those 190 yards total, Hilliard averaged 5.9 yards per touch. So with the win, the Saints improved to 4-4, while the Falcons fall to 2-6. The Niners, with their win, well, we'll talk about it in just a moment. Green Bay Packers over the Detroit Lions, 23-20 in overtime. Rodney Peete, the former USC Trojan, threw for 201 yards and a touchdown and interception. Don Majkowski, the Magic Man, for the surprising Green Bay Packers, threw for 367 yards, threw a two touchdown passes, and threw a interception. Barry Sanders, he had 30 carries for a rookie, that was his rookie year in 1989. 184 yards on 30 carries. So Sanders averaged 6.1 yards per carry for the soon-to-be NFL's Rookie of the Year, future Hall of Famer. Then it was the Cleveland Browns over the Houston Oilers down at the Astrodome, 28-17, as Bernie Kosar threw for 262 yards, two touchdowns, two interceptions. Warren Moon threw for 241 yards and a touchdown in a losing effort. Eric Metcalf had 17 carries for 48 yards for the day. Metcalf had 94 all-purpose yards on 24 touches. He ended up averaging 3.9 yards per touch. So the Browns go to 5-3. Oilers drop to 4-4. The Pittsburgh Steelers 23-17 over the Kansas City Chiefs, as the Steelers, former 49er Steve DeBerg threw for 338 yards, a touchdown, and two picks. Bubby Brister, 250 for DeBerg in a losing effort. Bubby Brister, 253 yards, and he threw two touchdown passes in the game, as Christian Okoye had 23 carries for 101 yards. Merle Hodge, 15 carries for 65. He led the Steelers. Stephon Page, 7 catches for 163 yards. And the veteran Lewis Lips, 7 catches for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. So with the win, the Chiefs, the Steelers are back at 500 at 4-4, while the Chiefs fall to 3-5. And then it was the Chicago Bears over the Rams down in Chicago. 20-10 is the final score. Jim Everett threw 2 interceptions in that game. Jim Harbaugh threw for 157 yards. And Neil Anderson, 22 carries for 80 yards. Henry Ellard, 5 catches for an even 100 yards, averaging 25 yards per catch. And former Stanford Cardinal Brad Muster, 4 catches for 44 yards. So with the win, the Bears improved their record to 5-3, while the Rams dropped their third consecutive game after starting 5-0. They're now 5-3. Niners, with a 7-1 record, has a commanding 2-game lead in the NFC West. So other games in Week 8, 1989, it was the Buffalo Bills beating the Dolphins 31-17 at Rich Stadium in Buffalo in Orchard Park, New York. Frank Wright filling in for the injured Jim Kelly, 123 yards, 1 touchdown pass. Thurman Thomas led the way for the Bills, 27 carries for 148 yards and a touchdown. Mark Clayton, 7 catches for 122 yards and a touchdown. And then it was Keenan McKellar, 2 catches for 36 yards. As the Buffalo Bills complete a season sweep over the Dolphins, they would now have beaten them 6 straight times. The Bills have a 6-2 record. Dolphins fall to 4-4. So Buffalo now has a commanding 2-game lead over the Dolphins in the AFC East, plus the tiebreaker advantage over the Dolphins. Then it was the New England Patriots overtime, 23-20 over the Indianapolis Colts. Veteran Steve Grogan threw for 355 yards and a touchdown through 2 interceptions. Jack Trudeau threw for 247 yards. He threw 2 touchdown passes in the game. Eric Sievers, the veteran, he had, for the Patriots, 7 catches for 113 yards. Andre Rison, 6 catches for 129 yards in a losing effort for the Colts. So with the loss, the Colts fall to 4-4, while the Patriots go to 3-5. Then it was the Arizona Cardinals hand 19-10 over the Dallas Cowboys as the Cardinals hand the Cowboys their eighth straight loss. They now, with their loss, now drops to 0-8 off of their worst start in franchise history, as former Cowboy quarterback Gary Huggleboom, or as to say Steve Walsh, threw the former Miami Hurricane quarterback 264 yards and a touchdown, two interceptions, as the Cardinals go to 4-4. Cowboys fall to 0-8. And then it was the defending AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals 56-23 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as Boomer Esiason threw for 197 yards through 5 touchdown passes. Vinny Testaverde, the former Heisman Trophy winner for the Miami Hurricanes back in 1986, he threw for 336 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in the contest. So the Buccaneers go to 3-5, or if they fall to 3-5, the Bengals, or the reigning AFC champion Bengals, go to 5-3. And then the Niners defeat the New York Jets 23-10. Steve Young threw for 182 yards, a touchdown. Ken O'Brien 203 yards, no touchdowns. Roger Craig 17 carries for 78 yards, and then he also caught 6 balls for 85 yards in the contest. Niners improve to 7-1. The Jets fall to 1-7. Then it was the wash out on the West Coast in Los Angeles, take on the Raiders. This is, of course, a rematch of Super Bowl 18, 37-24. Raiders over the Redskins. Mark Rippon threw for 364 yards and threw 3 interceptions and 1 touchdown in the losing effort. Steve Beuerlein threw for 154 yards and threw 2 touchdowns. And then Bo Jackson, 19 carries, 144 yards, a touchdown. Ricky Sanders, 12 catches for 158 yards and a touchdown. And then Mervin Fernandez, 4 catches for 58 yards, 2 touchdowns in a losing effort. With the loss, the Raiders fall to 4-4, while with the win, Washington improves to 4-4. The Philadelphia Eagles over the Denver Broncos at Mile High Stadium, 28-24. Randall Cunningham threw for 126 yards passing. He threw 2 touchdowns. John Elway threw for 278 yards, 3 interceptions, 2 touchdowns in the losing effort. Keith Byers leading the way for the Eagles, 23 carries for 93 yards. He also had caught 3 balls for 22 yards. He ended up having a total of 125 all-purpose yards. Vance Johnson, 9 catches for 148 yards for the Broncos in the losing effort. Eagles conclude the first half of their season at the midway point, 6-2, while the Broncos fall to 6-2. And then it was the Seahawks over the Chargers at the Kingdome. Seattle 10-7 is the final score. Brian Blades, the former Miami Hurricanes wide receiver, 10 catches for 117 yards and a touchdown. So the Chargers fall to 2-6, while the Seahawks improve to 4-4. Then on Monday Night Football, on the eve of Halloween, the next night, Giants over the Minnesota Vikings, 24-14, as Herschel Walker, 12 carries for 68 yards. O.J. Anderson, 29 carries, 66 yards, as the Giants improve to 7-1. They're tied with the 49ers for the best record for the NFC. Vikings falls to 5-3. And just a reminder from that 1989 game, back in week number 8, Niners, I should say that game, week number 8, as week number 8 for the 49ers. The game was on CBS. Referee Fred Wyant, the announcers Dick Stockton, and San Francisco-owned St. Ignatius High School graduate Dan Fouts with the call at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. So we continue on Niners Radio 49 as the Niners, as we look at the midway point of the season, The Niners right now, 49ers right now sit at 7-1. They now have a commanding 2-game lead over the Rams. They have a 3-game lead over the Saints, and the Falcons, who bring up the rear at 2-6, they have a 5-game lead over the Falcons, and the Niners taking care of business as they were on a mission to win back-to-back Super Bowls, and they are the Niners starting to pull away. The Niners sitting good at the season's halfway mark with a commanding 2-game lead, but however, the Niners still have to play the Rams, and they won't play them for at least a month and a half in early mid-December. And we'll talk about that Niners-Rams game down in Anaheim later on 49ers Live tonight on a later date when we get into December, as we continue to break down every Niner game from their Super Bowl season of 1989 and the scoreboard for the regular season. So there you that is pretty much it. 49ers were winners, and they're now enjoying their bye week, and they were winners, and the Niners are back in action. They will take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to start the second half of the season, coming up in mid-December, or back on November the 10th. It's a 10 o'clock game. You can catch the game on Fox, the exclusive network home of Super Bowl 59. We will be out there. We will be, I'm trying to think, we will, our next 49ers Live podcast will be tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we'll have another 49ers Live. Next week, by the way, we will, in our 49ers flashback of the 1989 Super Bowl season, we'll take you to week 9 when the Niners take on the New Orleans Saints at Candlestick Park. This will be their first home game in nearly a month, of course. Originally, that 49ers Saints game was originally supposed to have been played on back in week number 5 at Candlestick, and then that Monday night game against the Saints was supposed to have been at the Superdome, but it was switched because of the conflict. The Giants were playing the Cubs in the National League Championship Series, and it was a conflict. That was a series the Giants ended up winning in 5 games, but they'll be home. This would, by the way, be the first of. It would be the first of 4 consecutive home games. 4 consecutive home games, and then after 4 consecutive home games, and the first would be 5 of their final 7 games will all be at home. So the 49ers, trying to chalk up many W's at Candlestick, will take a look back next time when the Niners play the New Orleans Saints on Monday Night Football. Well, there you have it. We'd like to thank all of you for watching Niners Radio 49 tonight. And, it's been an honor and a privilege of having this. I talked with Brian Bauer, who used to be the host of 49ers podcast on Niners Radio 49. And we've just, over the last 2 years, have come a long way. This is my 3rd year being the mediator, information director for Niners Radio 49, and this is my 8th year overall as a correspondent for Niners Radio 49. So, without further ado, we're going to wrap it up from here. We're going to thank you for joining us. Check us out. Latest news on the 49ers. Go to 49ers.com, Niners Radio 49, youtube.com/@Niners Radio 49. Please don't forget to click the subscribe button. And our goal is trying to get 1,000 subscribers, and we just keep on chucking along, just grinding. So that's it for now. Professor B here. Thank you for watching 49ers Live on Niners Radio 49. And a reminder, we will have 49ers Tailgate. Hopefully I can get this thing up. We'll do a special 49er podcast and Tailgate for tomorrow. We'll probably combine the 2 shows in one. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed tonight. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. We'll go on around at 8:30 immediately when the World Series concludes because of the conflict. So thank you for watching tonight, and wish all of you a very pleasant good evening. 49ers Live is a special presentation of Niners Radio 49 in association with Satellite Digital Media News Network, where every team has a fan and every fan has a voice, the network home of champions. And as we leave you tonight, here's the scenes of the 49ers win over the Dallas Cowboys from Sunday Night Football. Video courtesy of NFL Films and 49ers.com. All rights reserved. This is intended to educate. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a very good night, everybody. Take care.
Hey, yeah, you guys know how bad we needed that, man. It's been a tough week. You guys have fought through it, man. Everything that went in that game, we've earned it. All right, all 3 phases, big time deal, man. All right, we just want to come back and get on a roll, get some of you guys back, get healthy, and keep going. You guys feel what I'm saying?
Oh, boys, bring it on. Hey, thank you for celebrating my holiday with me. A lot of touchdowns, a lot of spikes. It's all about the tight ends today. But thank you guys so much. Enjoy your bye week. 9, 3, 1, 2, 3!